Hi, vinyl community, or anybody else watching this video. It's Martin here, October 2021 update. Most of these I found in September actually. So without further ado, let's crack on, see what I've been up to. Okay, and then I might actually remember where I got them from as well. So starting with this quite appropriate album with the new James Bond film coming out. I don't think I've seen a James Bond film for quite a long time anyway. This would probably be my favourite ones, I guess. You know, Sean Connery, 60s. It's cost £2. It's all the music, or most of it is. In fact, I think all of it nearly is John Barry music, including the theme tunes, which I've probably already got. It's a double. It's lovely sort of shininess to it, and just one tear there on that corner there. So never had anything like that before. John Barry can be a bit difficult to come by these days. Yet again, we will try with a Al Stewart album. This is Love Chronicles. I think the B-side is all like one track, isn't it? Oh, sorry, two tracks. Got a cool picture on the back there. Autumn Leaves. I think that cost a quid from somewhere. Fairly decent nick. One of those artists never really got into that much. A quid buy here. Duke Ellington album looked interesting. It's on CBS Mono. Some sort of jazz series number 6. Liberian Suite, and A Tone Parallel to Harlem. Don't know it. This is an Open University record, Rhythms of Poetry, with the poems, words, writings about it on the inside. There you go. Not much to say about that really. This, however, this was another £2 buy, same places where I got the James Bond one. Now, I've never, another artist really, much like your Al Stewart, Santana. James Griffiths just did a video about Santana, which I watched all the way through. I suppose this cover grabbed me. I'm going to give it a go. I know it's sort of quite spiritual sort of thing going on it. Camels, sun. Yeah, I've never really clicked with Santana. I suppose I remember the nasty 90s ones that he did, and yeah, let's see what it's like. I'll keep you updated. Well, from camels to this, I'm not sure if I showed this last time. I had a big deliberation about whether I should keep this or not anyway. Couldn't find it. It's on a Sono Cairo label. Now when I say I couldn't find it, I looked under Discogs, all under that label. Couldn't find anything, cannot find anything, information about it. Don't understand Arabic. Looked under the catalogue numbers. I would say this is better than sort of one of those belly dancing albums, which it could sort of be. I'm guessing it's some sort of band or group. There is singing on at least one track. Well, it's not bad. It's not bad, and for £1, I got this in Oxford. Yeah, I'm sure I showed this last time, which means my last video was not actually that long ago. Yeah, I have a lot of deliberations about what to keep and not what to keep. Now this, Eric Satie, he's another sort of person. I can never decide, do I like this or do I not like this? Sort of like piano music on its own. Even if it's melancholy, I don't know that it really does it for me. Anyway, this one, I definitely recognise one of the tracks. It sounds like from Amélie, the French film. but that was Jan Tiersen, if my memory serves me right, that recorded it. He certainly did a soundtrack to that film and many other films and such like. Yeah, this is a little bit like Debussy, isn't it? I suppose. I'm not sure. But his stuff does turn up fairly commonly, fairly often, which for sort of 20th century classical isn't always the case. As to what is a good recording, what is a bad recording of this, I don't know. This is on some label called Everest, which is part of Transatlantic Records, actually, which I never knew. Another classical record here. Now, most of the times, I would not go anywhere near the King Singers. I associate them with their sort of like light entertainment BBC TV programmes of the 1970s and doing schmaltzy sort of sold out versions of songs. Anyway, this appears to be 20th century classical music. Richard Rodney Bennett, I've heard of him. The piece that grabbed me is by Paul Patterson called Timepiece. There's a Penderecki on here as well, Malcolm Williamson, Peter Dickinson. Yeah, very interesting sort of thing. The timepiece is sort of about the fall of man and a clock. Yeah, lovely. Right, from one extreme to the other. Now, I know a lot of people aren't into selling records, whether they're vinyl community members or whatever. Is it dirty to be a seller? Well, I don't know. You know, you can discuss among yourselves. Anyway, I got a batch of records from a mate. This I was going to sell. I was thinking about it for ages. Maybe I will keep it. It's Polygon window surfing on sine waves on warp. So yeah, it's really up there. There's now, I would say, a seminal classic like some craft work, really, to me. It's great washing up music as well, by the way. And yeah, it's very collectible. It's got a bit of a mark on here, but I'll have a word with him, mate, see what he thinks. You know, I sold a lot of his stuff, which will lead me on to where I was on Saturday just gone. Today's Tuesday, start of October. And yeah, I prefer this to a lot of the Aphex Twin stuff, actually. I don't know why, just I don't really even know what the difference is between the two. You know, is it just Richard James or what really? But yeah, there's the presumably a London Underground sort of scene with him running down the stairs. And from the same time period, my mate had a copy of this record and the cover was all stuck with glue and whatever. But when I went to the record fair I went to and sold at on Saturday, now I know this has some stickers on it, but the cover's just, I can read all the writing on it and it's just clearer. So I've Frankensteined the records together with this sleeve. So this was after, this is Sven Vath, is a German composer, techno artist. Call him what you will. This is 1994. An Accident in Paradise maybe was a better album, but I have this to add to it and sit by it. As you can see, it's got this rather, you know, early 90s graphics on it. I don't know do people remember there was a Warp compilation called Artificial Intelligence, and the cover looked very similar to the video for Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. It was sort of like a green cover with a picture of a lounge in the middle. I've seen that, like, someone I know was trying to sell it at a record fair for like 200 quid. I mean, I had a copy of it. It skipped, and at the time I thought, I won't bother keeping that, you know, I'll get rid of it or whatever. Like a lot of records in the mid-90s. well, not a lot, but some I got rid of. Anyway, this cost £2, and now I have a matching record and sleeve. So, moving on. Right. Saturday, even with all the petrol shortages we have in the UK, I had enough petrol to get to London, and I did the Johnny Trunk Groovy Record Fair. It was in someone called the Mildmay Club in Stoke Newington, so that's North London. I wasn't really sure what to expect. Would it be hipsters? Would it be people from Record Collector magazine? Because that was what it was like associated with as well. I suppose I thought was I quite lucky to get a table in there? I don't know. There was 40 tables. Unfortunately, I was upstairs, which maybe wasn't ideal because most of the action was going on downstairs in the main hall. It looked like a 1970s club. Well, it was Victorian, but it had been decorated with what is probably considered now quite fashionable, slightly kitschy sort of furnishings. A funny story, they had these horrible old sort of funny radiators, and a seller, went to put his records up in these sort of like plastic sleeves and whatever, and he actually lost and could not get out a £300 record. So either it's melted now, that's 3 days later, or somehow they managed to take the radiator off. I've no idea what happened there. Yeah. Anyway, so Johnny Trunk was there. He does this record label. I'll show you what I bought of his label. This Cricket's slowed down record called God's Chorus, which maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. There's a story behind it that it turned up on the internet on Mixcloud, and was it like slowed down crickets, and it sort of sounds very choral. Now I listened to it. It does sound, at the moment I'm leaning towards the no, it's been manipulated sort of thing, because it seems that some of them are or remind me of famous hymns, unless of course in heaven they know the famous hymns and they still sing them, like Your Amazing Grace and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe that was just my imagination post flashback from a very long time ago, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, Johnny Trunk. And a lot of the stuff that I sold at the record fair, it was not ABBA, Beatles, Carpenters, whatever sells, at record fairs. Anyway, Clash, I suppose. It was very different sort of stuff. I didn't sell a huge amount, but the thing was, and part of the selling, bearing in mind I used to work in a record shop, I actually enjoyed selling, and some things I've sampled, some things I just don't need anymore, some are duplicate, so I was more than happy. And it's nice, they weren't that expensive records in a way, but it's nice seeing people going away happy, especially as a lot of people seem to be at record fairs. They seem to be like 18 to 25, 30-year-olds, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was a smattering of hipsters, a few old grumblers, I suppose you would say. Anyway, in my category sections, I deliberately did a trunk-esque catalogue section, genre, whatever you want to call it. And I saw him for a second, Johnny Trunk, so I got him to sign this for me, which was nice. So maybe I'll use that in future in my home sections when I sort them out, or if I ever do them like that. This I bought from downstairs. Oh, by the way, I think I saw Mark Moore from S Express, and apparently he gave a little secret that there will be a DJ in the evening, and I made a joke it was going to be Jamiroquai or something. I presumed that it was going to be Johnny Trunk himself doing it. It only turned out that Jarvis Cocker turned up. They must be mates or something. Someone saw Lawrence from Denim Felt there. Yeah, it definitely looked like a sort of place that would have been a pulp video. Yeah, had these sort of like tinselly curtains that were like silver, shiny gold, silver, blue, red, whatever. Anyway, I've no idea what crepitation means, but I bought this. Is this some sort of competition of being rude to each other? I've no idea. This is an American record on Beacon. Don't know. One more thing to show, and I will finish this because I've gone on for far too long. I sold a lot of bird sound effects records to different people, like maybe even like 5 or 6, I think. Anyway, someone came over because he saw that I'd had these things for sale, and I only went and ended up buying one. So this is apparently limited to 300. One of the sellers was a part of it. So it's birds versus planes. But rather than just whack it all together, they've actually gone out and done all the field recordings. It's only a one-sided 12-inch album, but I thought, good on you. 10 quid. Bizarrely, there's one listed on Discogs for 80 quid or something. I don't know that it's worth that, but I thought it was nice. So here ends today's video, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.